Hello and welcome to Shooting the Bull. I'm Justin.
I'm Ariana.
I'm Nick.
I'm Ralph.
Hey, we're all the gang's all here, and happy Halloween, belated Halloween, everybody. How was everybody's Halloween?
Good.
Actually, I spent it with you three, so we all know how our Halloween was. It was pretty good. We sat outside in the backyard, had a little bonfire going, and watched the kids come up and get candy.
We had a mini photo shoot with some of the kids that came up and they're like, "Oh my god, we need pictures with you."
How many kids you guys got?
I had 7 groups. They all came in groups, but it was like
any.
None?
Mm-mm.
Not a soul.
Not a one.
Wow.
We saw one. Audrey and I were going to dinner.
A trick-or-treater.
We saw one as we drove by, and then she swooped back around to get back in, and then they just passed us.
Oh.
Did you have the light on?
Mm-hmm. We had everything. The light on, door open. Nothing.
Jesus.
Yeah, kids don't really trick or treat anymore.
That's
they
crazy.
They dress up for the sake of dressing up, and then the parents are too afraid to take their kids out for candy.
Yeah.
Also, a lot of the
go?
kids left your neighborhood, so it's mostly adults now.
I mean, true. Back when I was a little wee lad, we had all of us were all together, and we'd all go as a group, and then the candy was ours for the taking. It was a jackpot.
Yeah, when I was a kid, it was just like every house was doing it.
Yeah.
It was just like you would pass
it was
dozens
weird.
of kids while you're walking.
When I was a kid, it was weird if a house didn't do it. It was
Exactly,
like, what the hell's going on
You
here?
look at the dark house, and you're like, lamos.
You always
What
wondered,
the hell's going on here?
There was like, oh, those must be the Jehovah's Witnesses.
I'm sad for the one
don't
trick or
like
treater though. I just got this image of this kid just walking around like, there's no one here to get candy. He comes back home. Mom's like, how'd it go, Timmy? There's no candy. No candy. She has to go. Well, we'll go to the store and buy you some candy.
Oh,
I think
man.
I just got real sad.
there's like a lot of mall events.
There's a lot of trunk or treat, which is where people go in the parking lots. It's a lot of church events where people just go to
The
each car and
church
they're
events.
like, "Here's some Jesus
I think
sprinkles."
I think the church is raging.
Jesus beans.
The church is raging a war on Halloween.
Jesus beans.
Jesus beans.
We should do that. We should.
Oh,
Little Jesus.
pray day instead of payday.
Yeah.
It's a pray day.
Three wise men.
Oh.
Three wise men of tears.
Milky Way, aka heaven.
Or Mary Way.
Oh, nice.
Hey, instead of Babe Ruth, it'd just be Ruth. There is a character in the Bible named Ruth.
Yeah.
God stoppers.
God stoppers.
That sounds the counterintuitive, actually.
God stoppers. We don't have that here.
You
at
give those to
church.
the atheists.
Yeah.
We have
Have
the
some God stuff.
we have the God goers. So you didn't go to any fall festivals at no churches?
No,
right?
we went to Buffalo Wild Wings and I drank beer.
Last night we went to the bar that was near Justin's house, and we kept trying. For some reason, we were just playing this game. We were rhyming Grim Reaper with anything else.
Oh, Grim Reaper,
Just like
Frog Leaper.
Oh, Frog Leaper would have been great for that game.
because we were thinking if you
Day Sleeper.
if you're a deadly if you take deadly nap to be a grim sleeper.
Okay,
And then Justin was like, "Oh yeah, well, Grim Lexus."
I didn't say that. What? I did not say that. That was a joke he made
Well,
because I
you
was
said
there.
that
He
was
was
like the
terrible.
better things out of all the things you said.
No, I did not say.
You're like, "Oh, if you go to the dentist, you'd be a grim toother."
One of the ones was
like,
if you had rocks tied to your feet and you were flung into the ocean, you'd be the grim sinker.
Oh yeah. And then I
understand this
said,
game.
then I said, this was my favorite one. I said, if you were a skinny guy seeking in quicksand, you'd be the slim sleeper.
Slim Seeper. That was the only one that rhymed.
Slim Sleeper.
Yeah, that was, and then every other time it just got worse. And then I was like, Justin's levels of jokes are basically like, if I was a car, I'd be a grim Lexus.
Okay. Gotcha.
It's like that was all.
I was having fun.
Does it rhyme? No. Does it make sense? No. It's a Justin joke.
I had a good time because
I think one of the rules is if you can't be good, then be so bad it's funny.
that's what I was trying to do.
Yeah.
Well, that's what happened.
Tactic. I do that every time on the show, actually. That's every episode for me. I had fun with my costume, though, because I wore my Scream outfit again, but I put it on backwards.
Oh yeah, so he was.
So I had
he had the hood in the front and the mask on the back of his
and
head.
I would walk around like that. So
And spin real quickly and scare. That's pretty cool.
And it looked quite accurate still, even though he's walking backwards, just
It was
because it
really
was
funny.
so dark. It was like, guess this is right.
That was fun. So other than that, what did you do for your Halloween weekend? Did you do anything? Because it sounds like you didn't really celebrate Halloween yesterday.
No, we went to party on Saturday.
What was the party?
It was just for Audra's friends at work and coworkers.
I saw Audra's outfit. It looked awesome. She went as Coraline.
Coraline, yeah.
Nice.
I went as a ventriloquist dummy.
Ugh.
I was actually disappointed you weren't around because I knew that would have scared you.
Ari had a scary outfit.
I'm gonna
yesterday.
use the Jigsaw from Saw.
Oh, nice.
But she looked more like.
Cool.
You remember that?
Did you have a little like tricycle?
Oh, I wanted to.
That
I was
would've
gonna
been great.
kind of take my neighbor's longboard and just be
Right.
like the hipster Saw.
Did you see? You remember that game Emily Wants to Play?
Yes.
That we were playing the other night.
Uh-huh.
You know that doll in there? She really looked a lot like that.
The doll you have to stare at. So that,
Yeah.
It really winded up.
I kind of looked like the other one then. The dude who runs at you.
Slappy.
Yeah.
Slappy.
Yeah.
Next year, there's a third one. You can be the clown.
The clown.
Yeah, you can be the clown. As long as all the clown things are over, then you might get shot.
Actually, I was where I work, the federal agency I work at, was celebrating Halloween last Thursday, and they had the Halloween buffet, which really isn't a buffet because you can only go one time. You can only take one sausage. It was
That's
like,
not a buffet.
No.
That's
They,
just a
they were
spread.
doing brats.
Yeah.
They were like, take one sausage, please. I was like, man, come on, man, I want more sausage.
Justin wants all the
I
sausage.
want all the sausages. So anyway, I was
All of it
standing
at one time.
Imagine,
Don't even cut it up.
Imagine, if you will, me standing there with my little tray, being pissed off that I can only have one sausage. And the next thing you know, a herd of clowns walks in. One of the branches, the HR division, they all decided that it would be fun if they all went as clowns. So you imagine, I'm standing there and all of a sudden I turn my head, doom, 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 turn my head and an entire herd of clowns
Is there
comes
a word?
walking in, and one was on rollerblades, come rollerblading into the cafe. I was like, oh my god, that one's fast!
I wonder if there's a word for multiple clowns.
Commedia. A commedia of clowns.
There you go.
Are you serious?
No.
Okay.
Commedia is a style of comedy.
Oh. I was like, are you serious? You being serious right now?
Commedia. But that sounds like it could work though.
It does.
Comedian of clowns.
A commedia of clowns.
Yeah. That would be terrible.
Actually, I'd call that a chuckle of clowns.
A chuckle of clowns.
I like that
Chuckle of clowns. I like that one better.
Yeah.
Hey, look, it's a chuckle of clowns. I like that. That works.
Now, commedia is a style of clowning.
Oh, yeah?
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah?
Oh yeah, it's great. It's really great.
That's really
Like
good.
Commedia dell'arte, originated in the 1700s. Science.
Science. I saw
That's a
something.
good segue to get on to
Thank
science.
I saw something today that was quite interesting. Well, the headline said NASA finds object coming out of a black hole, and I said, "Well, that's curious." I click on it, and I will admit the picture that came up doesn't give a whole lot of backing to the story. It was a screenshot from the movie Interstellar. So I thought, already the credibility of this article is lessened.
Right.
But I was reading the article, and apparently there was like a energy light source that was discovered on a telescope coming out of a black hole, but they're not sure what it was. And of course, they have no way to study this. They just caught a glimpse of what looked like light coming out of it, which is interesting because we've never been able to capture anything on here. But while you're listening to this, going, "Ooh, that's really cool," also know that, like I said at the top of the article, there was a screenshot from the movie Interstellar. So
Do you know what
take
happens
that with a grain
if
of
you
salt.
go into a black hole? I talked with this about this with Audra, and she didn't believe me.
Well, no one knows.
Well, we kind of have some
They have theories.
concepts. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I know we have theories, but no one knows
So
because no one's ever done it.
time and space bends when it goes into it, and apparently, if you go into it, a process called spaghettification happens.
Is that where you're just like deteriorating?
You stretch. Your body just stretches.
Do you think that
into
would
it.
hurt?
Hell yeah!
Well, I think so, but at the same time, if time and space is bending,
You would bend with it too, right? But you'd be fine, right?
I don't know.
It would be like your environment is bending too.
Well, I think you'd be fine if you were in the black hole, if your body could adjust to that, I don't know, calibration of movement. But as soon as you were to get out to the other side of the black hole, you'd be so adjusted to the black hole that I think you just die instantly.
I don't know. What if you came out the other end and it just put yourself back together again?
Re-spaghettification.
Re-spaghettification.
So, like, you repasta.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Nobody knows. It's fringe theory. Nobody knows it because no one's been into a black hole before.
You could like.
I think they rig a phony.
I was gonna try to do some like noodle-based puns.
A rig a phony.
Yeah,
That's what I just said.
I was trying to think of like, what's the screwed one? Or like, is it just corkscrew?
Rotini.
Rigatoni.
It's the pasta that Nick just ate. What is that?
I ate it on the show.
I think it's
Tricolor
rotini. I think it's rotini. I think it is rotini.
Rotini.
Yeah, I got the tricolor one. You know why I got that? Because it's fall, so I thought I want my pasta to be festive.
Yeah.
Not because it has the vegetable serving, but because you want your food to be festive.
Yeah, because it had the orange.
Does it have
You're a true
vegetable?
American.
It
Most
had
of the time.
Yeah, it had the orange colored pasta, the green one, and then the regular. And I thought, that's a very fall colory thing. I want my pasta to reflect my season. I like my pasta to reflect my season.
'Tis the seasoning.
That's right. That's why I got the try. Why am I talking about this?
I don't
Anyway,
know.
there was a movie.
Yeah.
There's a movie I really love, and no one loves it. I love it, but I actually like the book. It's called Sphere, and in that movie, there's a group of scientists, and they find a spaceship under the water that's buried under 300 years worth of coral. So they're like, well, that's weird because that means that this spaceship crash landed 300 years ago, which is crazy.
Yeah.
So they go to investigate this thing. They get on board, and they find that it's an American spaceship. Everything's in English, and everything's futuristic. And they're like, what the hell's going on here? They find a computer that logs the last entry of the ship, and the ship flies into a black hole. This book was suggesting, and the story is suggesting that the ship flew into a black hole, came out the other end, crash landed in 300 years ago in their past, our present. On Earth and whatnot. So that was their theory as to what happened going through a black hole. That's how time travel is possible. You go through one end, you come out a completely different time or area or whatnot.
Gotcha.
Raj, you don't seem to like that theory.
No,
Well, then we'd have to have
I don't.
black holes here, right?
What?
Well, how would you just have a random entry point of a non-existent area?
It's a science fiction book.
Okay.
We can create.
Well, that wasn't thought through.
There's people think you can recreate one. That's what the accelerators are.
I don't think you'd want to, though. If you recreated one in our solar system, it'd suck us all in.
That's true.
We'd all be dead!
Maybe. I mean, it depends on how big it is.
I think Donald Trump's a black hole.
No, it's too black for him.
I have nothing to say. Good job.
Okay. But the concept of a black
It's like
hole,
the Easter Bunny to me.
But the concept, no one knows really exactly what would happen, I guess. So I think that's why everyone's able to just sort of throw it over. Like, let's have it be time.
Yeah.
Like, it could just be a dimension.
I've always thought if you
could
went
make it whatever you wanted to.
I always thought if you went into a black hole, kind of like what you were saying, I don't know if you would stretch out, but I guess you would, but I always just thought if you went into a black hole, you would just cease to exist.
Time travel is possible if you go into a coma. Because whenever you wake up, it'll be a completely different time.
Yeah, but you
That's like
That's a
mental
that's
time
a
travel.
personal time travel.
So, how odd would that be? That, you get knocked out.
Yeah.
You're in a coma.
You get back up again.
You get back
They're
up.
never going to keep you down.
They're never going to
No,
keep
you're
you down.
knocked out.
You get back up again, but it's 30 years later. How weird would that be? Like, say you lost 30 years. You're just laying on some bed for 30 years. You wake up. How weird would that be? You'd
It'd be really
recognize like another one.
No, but...
Would you remember who you were?
Maybe.
Depends
Or do
on
you
how
have...
much.
When you wake up from a coma for a long time, do you remember, the last thing as, your last thought? Or you just go, the hell happened?
I don't know. I don't know I think it
Who are
depends
these
on the
people?
damage that's happened to your brain.
Yeah, depends on your trauma. Trauma lemma.
Let's say you... let's go really crazy, and instead of being 30 years, how would it be 300 years?
Jesus.
And you wake up in a whole new
Did they,
world, basically.
freeze you?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, it would have to be cryogenic.
Oh, yeah. That would be cool. That's kind of like one of my favorite against Fallout 4. He wakes up 200 years later.
Like if someone
Spoiler.
If
To the
someone from
post-apocalypse,
the
yeah.
1800s was waking up right now, how would
Yeah.
they react?
Oh, my God.
How would they react to cars, phones, paved roads,
Do you
tall
think-
buildings,
Do you think...
less markets?
Let's say Abraham Lincoln. We all love Abraham Lincoln. That is something we can agree on. Let's say, do you think Abraham Lincoln would enjoy being alive today at all?
I think he'd be terrified. He'd see the guns we have, and he'd be like, shit, I'm not going to any movies ever again. In fact, the DVD player would be probably the best thing in the world for him.
I'm never going to a movie again. No, really. Do you think he would look at the country and go, Or do you think he would-
I think you mean
not
politically.
not just the country, but life in general. Or would he go, damn, this is a toilet that flushes? I mean, like, you have to think, like, that's the first thing I would think of. I take toilets very seriously. So I would be like...
You have your outhouse indoors.
I know. I'd go in and be like, he's used to shitting in a bowl and tossing it out the window. You know what I mean? Like, he gets here and he goes into a bathroom. He's like, oh my God, I can shit in the bowl and flush and it's good.
That's gotta, like, change a person, don't you think? Because there's something so undignified about shitting in like, a pan. So, like, no matter how cool you were back then, you still shit in a pan.
And you threw it out the window.
Yeah.
And then you went and walked on the street to go get your groceries. So you just stepping in your own shit.
Oh. Don't see how you could like anybody back then, because you just would know, like,
so
everyone
dirty.
here is just throwing out their shit.
What if they had a really nice chamber pot and you're like, oh yeah.
Mine's made out of gold.
Gold-plated chamber pot. Got mine diamond encrusted.
I think, it's interesting. Like, everyone has this idea that people from a long time ago are, like, much wiser and, like, they are so dignified.
Mm-hmm.
But if they came here to this time, they might go, guys, you guys are rocking and rolling, man. We were riding around in buggies and stuff. You got cars?
Instead of brushing their teeth, they would just lose them and then put wood in its place.
Yeah, so, like, people, like, that's one thing that bugs me when they act like these older people are like...
surgeries with no gloves on and they wear, like, street clothes.
Yeah.
They had no idea about germs.
I think they use, like, leeches.
In
they use
religious...
leeches. They still do that in some
lieu of
places.
medicine.
I swear to God, I think, people always say, oh, there's no way they would enjoy themselves here. They would be rolling their graves. Actually, I think they'd be clawing to get out.
But are people saying that because of just the state of the politics or just the state of the world?
Maybe a little bit of both. Because, I mean, politically, maybe they would be pissed off. They'd be like, is this really what you guys have come down to? These are your two choices.
Right.
Yeah.
Maybe they would be a little pissed off, but about that. But I think as far as like the world is concerned, like it bugs me. Like in religious texts, they always talk about the wise men. People back in the religious texts are so wise and they're so smart and they're so high minded. Well, they thought the world was flat.
Well, yeah, I mean,
like you know what I mean? They're not that wise.
No, I mean,
like, you think about
these
it.
are
if we brought up a black hole to that, they'd be like, I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, they don't. Yeah, I mean,
if you brought up gravity to them, they wouldn't know.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I mean, these are people who didn't know where the sun went at night.
Yeah.
And you're supposed to think that they have, like, the answers to the universe?
Like, it gets really dark.
Off.
Where the fuck did it go?
That's why when I'm like, whenever you read something that they said,
it's nonsense.
Take that with a grain of salt. Because, nonsense. Like you said, they thought that the Earth, revolved around this... or that the sun revolved around the Earth because, it would come up and go down. Mm-hmm. Clearly, it revolved around the Earth.
But they thought that diseases were curses by God, and they thought that earthquakes were
Take that with
off.
a grain of salt.
I mean, it's like ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know anyone would believe them.
You know what else is ridiculous?
It's an illogical, logical explanation.
The Greeks were the funniest about it to me. Because every Greek myth, it's always like, somehow we pissed off the gods. We got this thing, and then another god was punished by a different god.
Yeah. Well, and the gods were far more like human, too.
Yeah.
They were like, they would get angry.
And they could come down, they could disguise themselves as humans, and they're like...
You can actually...
Zeus was the fucking worst about it. So Helena was like, excuse me, what the fuck are you doing? And he's like turning into some farmer dude, and he's like, hey, farmer's girl, you want to have sex? And then they have a demigod, and then it's like, oh shit.
Yeah, he was going around just like sticking it everywhere down there. He was
throwing his lightning bolts everywhere. It was shocking.
I like the idea of like you could actually climb the mountain they lived on.
Yeah.
Like they lived on a mountain you could see. And at the top of the mountain there you would just look, you'd wake up in the morning, you'd be like, oh, my gods are up there right now.
Mm-hmm.
On the mountain.
But see, to me, as ridiculous of a concept that is, it's no more ridiculous than the main world religions now.
Yeah.
They're just as stupid. Just in different ways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would rather have polytheism, honestly, than most others, just because polytheism at least is... It's like, I can choose which one today. It's like, today I'm going to work towards this guy.
Technically, Christianity is polytheism because they have different types of angels that you pray to, like the people, I forget the name of the angel, whenever you lose your keys or you lose something.
If you're Catholic...
Seriously, there's...
That sounds ridiculous.
No, I don't know this because like as a Southern...
Yeah, saints, not angels.
See, that's only for... Because it's Southern Baptist, you only talk to one. You talk to, Jesus.
But then you have the Holy Divine Trinity. Of Father, Son, Holy Spirit. That's three people in one person, technically, but that's still three people.
I've asked, they are like, it's the same person. So all three of them are the same.
I was told
then you say the Hail Mary.
It's the same thing.
Does your church say the Hail Mary?
No.
No. In fact, actually, that was one of the things I was surprised at how not only do you not really do any of that, but you don't seem to like her that much.
No.
She's the one that gave birth to him.
But we're Southern Baptists and she's a woman.
Yeah.
Yo, so if she had a dick and squeezed him out, it'd be cool.
Yeah.
Well, that's another ridiculous thing. I mean, think about...
Think about it.
What,
Think about that.
but what's more likely? That this woman gave birth to a god and it was him, or that she fucked someone and lied about it?
Yeah.
What's more likely? And also, if virgin birth were real,
Right.
she would have had a female, not a male. Jesus would have had to have been a female if virgin birth was real, because there's no there's no Y chromosome
And a female.
So
Holy shit.
So the only place you get Y chromosome from is from a guy. So
It was Jesse.
If a virgin had
Jesus.
birth, there's no Y chromosome.
It was Jesse. Jess?
That's where the song Jesse's Girl came from.
Look at that. We just solved
my
a
gosh.
major... we just solved the actual theory of Jesus. That's the kind of
There was some
content you get on the show.
documentary I was watching about that, and they speculated that because of the era that they lived in, he would have been one of 8 to 10 children. So he wouldn't have been an only child. In every story, he's the only child. Also, it goes from his birth to a story to whenever he was like 2 or 3 years old, skips all the way to whenever he was 14.
There's nothing about
what
him.
happened between 3 and 14?
Yeah, there's nothing about him.
I actually saw a thing where they theorized that he was like a really bad kid. He was like really
Rebel.
violent and stuff. But also,
That seems
the
like
first
J.J.
He was
Abrams
learning to
story
be a
arc, you know.
carpenter.
But that seems like a J.J. Abrams reboot story arc. You know, like nowadays, he's born, he's unsure of himself, he doesn't know it, he can't find his
got
future,
daddy issues.
He's got daddy issues. Then by
car.
Then by the
Runs up to Joseph, you're not my real dad.
you know my real. By the end of the story, he's the hero. He knows who he's supposed to be.
Yeah.
It seems like
spaceship.
that seems like a good story arc there.
Yeah, but I think, isn't it the first ever writing about him was anywhere between like 40 to 60 years after his death
Yeah.
Yeah, that's when they started.
from someone who didn't know him.
I'm like, ooh, this sounds cool.
Same for paintings of Shakespeare.
That's
Been one of my favorite things to read, where it's like, the most iconic photo or picture of Shakespeare that we recognize was drawn, I think it was 60 years after he probably died.
Yeah.
You've got a friend who is so convinced that Shakespeare was like 10 people.
Oh yes, I have a friend who believes that Shakespeare wrote none of those stories,
Great.
and that he wasn't a writer at all, and that it was multiple people writing under this name of Shakespeare to get their work done.
Yeah.
But there wasn't any. But Shakespeare never actually wrote any of those stories because he told me. He said that the writing style is just too good to be one man to come up with all those plots. I was like, that's your art. You're saying the man's too good to create anything.
yeah.
I wish that was something said
a man
about
could
me.
never exist.
Justin Bullock is too good. There's no way he made all those movies.
He's got to be 4 different people, right? Named Justin Bullock.
I wish. I think that time is coming. Honestly,
It's coming.
It's coming. But
it
I
has
wish.
not come though.
Did y'all watch My Love Lexi today?
No,
No, we did not
I want to.
actually.
I want to watch that too.
Well, we can watch that later.
That's my favorite movie. I saw this article today that really ticked me off. I am not a feminist. I support women's rights to do all that.
Yeah.
I just don't like feminism. So one of the things I saw today really irked me. There was a girl who's studying to be a scientist in a lab, and she quit doing it because she felt threatened by all of the males who would sit around and talking about Star Trek and had posters on the wall of Star Trek and would play Dungeons and Dragons together. And she felt like she couldn't make it in this male-dominated world because she didn't like Star Trek.
I mean, that would threaten me too.
How would you be threatened?
I'd be scared.
Of all the Dungeons and Dragons and Star Wars,
Yeah.
Star Trek fans.
You don't know what they're up to.
They're just talking about Star Trek.
What are they plotting over there?
It drove me crazy because she was saying, I think that they should take away all the Star Trek posters from the lab so that I feel more, like fitting in with them. I'm like, if you want to fit in with them, just go talk to them about anything. Anything. Just, it drove me crazy. She's like, I felt threatened, so they have to stop talking about Dungeons and Dragons and Star Trek so I can get my job done.
I don't think that's a feminism thing. I think she's blaming feminism for feeling ostracized because she doesn't have the same interests as these people.
Yeah. That's like nerd culture.
Yeah, she's like, oh, I don't watch Star Trek, or I don't play Dungeons and Dragons, or they're not inviting me to
That's not
this.
how you quit your job.
Yeah, she just...
I agree with you. It's stupid, but
That sounds like a spotlight
stupid.
thing.
Yeah.
That's not a feminism thing. That's just her being like, oh, it's
But she
because
said
I'm a woman and this is not gonna work. And they're like, no, I am an actress and also I help him as a producer and do all this shit in film and theater. And hell yeah, most of the time I'm working with 9 to 8 dudes by myself as a woman. I was just on a film set where I was the only female there, and there were like 10 people.
How'd you handle it?
I wasn't like, oh my god, they all know things about cameras and stuff, so I'm gonna quit. I was like, well, let me talk to them about literally
So what do you think is wrong with this chick? And she is making it a feminist thing, by the way, if you read the article. She is making it a thing.
Well, maybe she just wanted to get out of there, but she's like, well...
Well, then just say, you know what?
It's kind of like the kid that kind of faked his own kidnapping because he got an F in college.
Yeah, she's trying to turn it into something more than it is. So that she doesn't look so stupid.
It annoyed me.
Mm-hmm.
It annoyed me. I was annoyed by it.
Mm-hmm. Well,
So-
why aren't they just doing their work? Why are they sitting around just talking?
They are. There's no way they're just sitting. Well, maybe I've seen it at work, but there's no way they're just sitting around talking about Star Trek all day. I just think it's stupid that if a guy wants to go to work wearing a Star Trek shirt and he walks in there and this girl is offended because she now can't relate to him at all. That's just ridiculous. They breathe oxygen. There is something they relate to right there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, you can relate to anybody. Yeah, sure. There's people I talk to at the EPA who are into hunting and fishing.
Yeah.
Right.
But I still have conversations with them because that's what human beings do.
Yeah, one of my good friends for the first 2 years
People
of
drive me
college
crazy this time. People have gotten out of control.
was a
If there's-
Republican and he went mudding and he went hunting and he taught me how to play pool and he taught me all the cool things about life. I just, instead of being like, wow, you're hick as fuck, I'm gonna ignore you, I was like, actually, let me learn to embrace a different culture. Let me learn let me get out of my comfort zone. If you just want to stay in your little comfort zone, then go home and read a book or something. Damn.
But am I crazy?
Chicken soup for the scientist soul.
But am I crazy for being a little annoyed with this?
Well, with that one, yes.
How?
Well, I don't know.
No, you're not crazy. I think she is just blaming something that's just way off
Why?
topic.
I get that. Like, I know what it's like to be around. I work around a lot of conservatives, and I have times where I'm like, I have no. When something happens, they were all celebrating the other day about the FBI thing. I didn't know what to do.
Well, I bet they're all sad now because they found out the truth. But it's whatever. Are you upset at the fact that she blamed feminism or the fact that she is a feminist?
She blamed feminism.
Okay.
Or is
Because
that-
I think it takes.
reasonable.
Because I think it takes power.
She's attacking Star Trek.
Or
That had a lot to do with it.
Yeah.
That had a lot to do with it. Because you know what?
Star Trek.
Listen,
she's gonna feel the force of my fist.
Star Wars.
Shit.
I thought you did it on purpose to piss him off.
see,
I
it
did.
doesn't.
There we
I
go.
didn't want him to say anything.
If a girl doesn't like Star Trek because
Damn it, Nick.
she's not into it because Star Trek is more of a guy thing,
Is it?
it can be.
Okay.
I don't think it is. I think it's enjoyed by all.
My mom watched Star
back and
Trek.
forth we had.
My dad did.
Is it?
Really?
Can be.
Ross asking the real question.
I know tons of girls who like it.
What is life?
This is why this bothers me. If she bothers me because
She's closed-minded.
yes,
Yeah.
and
I mean, that's
bothers me. And now since she's so stupid, yes, she is stupid. She is now
She's
going
gonna
around.
listen to the show. and
She's
be like,
wanting to
"Aw."
change everyone's environment around her to fit her stupidness so that she's more comfortable.
I get what
You see what I'm saying?
Definitely.
I don't like anything about the people here. All you bitches have to change so I feel better.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
Right.
It'd be different if they were making
Beam
fun
me
of
up,
her.
Scotty. I am tired of this shit.
But the thing is, though, I guess to just play devil's advocate,
Play it.
she didn't do that. She left.
Yeah, she just kind of dipped out.
That's ridiculous. This lady
I would agree if we didn't know about the article. I would say that you're completely right that she
Right.
did just quit.
Mm-hmm.
Now
She
she's
did
a
the best
quitter.
thing.
She's
She
even
quit,
worse.
and then she's
stupid.
about it.
But did
She's
she- but did
stupid
she-
and a quitter.
But
No,
did she
I don't
make
think
any-
the closer you get to the microphone is going to make it any more of a point.
She's stupid and a quitter, and I just want all of y'all
Just go ahead and put
to
it
know
in
that.
your mouth.
but did she make any of these grievances known to the work?
No, she didn't. She just
Yeah.
quit. She quit, and then she wrote a freaking article about it.
Okay.
Well,
Drives me crazy.
Yeah.
So, can you believe there's only 8 weeks until Christmas? I went into Walmart today to buy me some pasta, and there's Christmas stuff up already.
You need to get Christmas
Thanksgiving is
themed
still-
pasta.
Christmas themed pasta.
Green and red.
You know what I was really ticked about? Oh my god. Oreos did not put out the Halloween ones this year. They didn't have the orange one. They didn't have them at Walmart. Where were they?
I saw them at Food Line.
well, your Walmart also didn't have just plain
Regular marshmallows. Now, there's something going on with that Walmart. In fact, they moved the Prego. I was walking around. I was like, "Where's the Prego?"
Where the Prego's at?
Do you guys like Walmart?
Where the Prego's at?
No.
I
go there because of the convenience.
see. Well, that's my point. I'm going to make. There's almost never anything I want there.
Mm-hmm.
It's about 98% shit.
Speak for yourself.
Every now and then I find something that I'm looking for, but I never find anything. It's just, I always have to settle for something.
The only Walmarts that I go into are the ones that actually have a supermarket because it's just cheap crap.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I spent. I bought food for 3 days. I spent $20.
Yeah, I'm talking more about it being sort of like the department store type thing, not the
that side.
Yeah.
You know what scares me is I actually always find everything I want in Walmart. It scares me a little bit, and then I'm like, oh yeah, I like this. It kind of scares me a little bit.
No,
I always leave empty-handed or with the like second to third next best thing that I was looking for.
Mm-hmm. I go there as last resorts for if I ever need a costume for something. I never ever really buy anything there. I'm like, oh, I need this right now. You know what? I think Walmart might have it first, and then I'll go look somewhere else. No, I'm like, fuck, I have 2 minutes. I gotta go to this store right now.
I just thought you can walk in there dressed however you want.
That's not
I still get
ringing
looked at.
endorsement of Walmart.
I just love it. You know, I think I'm getting fatter. You guys think I'm getting fatter?
What the fuck?
I think I am.
What kind of segue was that?
I don't know. I just thought about it all of a sudden. I was like,
You've got your shirt tucked in. That always makes someone look a little bit bigger.
I think it's all the pasta. I ate a lot of pasta.
Did you eat a lot?
I ate a lot
Well, maybe
of
you
pasta.
have just a food baby.
Just go run.
Because it's a lot of pasta.
Just go run. Oh, the idea of that.
You're ready for it.
The idea of that is just awful.
I know my body gets bigger during the preparation for menstrual cycles.
Does it?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you're about to start your period, Justin.
Oh.
You're not pregnant. I'm sorry.
No, yeah,
You're not Prego.
No. I ate Prego.
Couldn't find the Prego. Maybe
Couldn't
that's
find the
why.
Prego.
Did you have something to talk about?
Yeah.
I absolutely had nothing to talk about.
Do you have an idea? Do you have an invention?
Well, I was thinking about that actually earlier. I
Or do
don't
you have a scientific theory?
Well, I'll tell you this. I don't like grooming whatsoever when it comes to hair.
Found that
I
out
don't like it.
last week.
Yeah, and
Or was it 2 weeks?
it was sometime.
What did you do?
I would like to have some type of device that I could just kind of wear while I'm watching TV, and it would shave. It's like you would sit on your head like a little helmet, like a little thing. You just put it on your head like in case, right? But you can still see through it because you want to watch TV, or maybe there's a TV on the inside of it, something like that. I don't know. And you just kind of put this cone on your head or whatever. Let's say it's a cone because cones are cool. So you put this cone on your head, and it's got
Cones are cool.
it's got all kinds of stuff. And
he's right. They are.
they are cool. And it cuts your hair and does the shaving for you while you just sit there. You can just sit there, just
It's a barber shop, dude.
in a cone.
Go to a TV.
Barbershop in a cone. You just sit it right on your head and you just let the world go and you just sit there and it's...
A lot of your recent inventions involve little robotic hands doing things.
Well, yeah.
That idea was so stupid. I just pinched a nerve in my neck and I thought I was going to pass out.
What are you talking about?
You literally almost killed me with the stupidity of
It's
that.
a barber shop in a cone.
I wouldn't trust it, man.
I wouldn't trust a razor that near to my head or scissors.
It's
No.
in control. There's programming. How could that ever go wrong?
Well, they have those kind of
doesn't
things.
wanna
It's
say
called
that.
people.
Like any movie ever.
Yeah,
with
I didn't
software.
movie with the robot.
God.
Hell, even Douglas Adams.
Actually,
Galaxy.
I think Jurassic Park, because people always say, well, Jurassic Park never worked out. I'm like, no, just don't hire the fat guy. If they wouldn't have hired the fat guy, Jurassic Park would have worked out just fine. Anyway, yeah, it's a barbershop in a cone.
Or you could just
Call it the barber cone.
You can just go to a barber shop and sit down.
No, because it's a one. Listen, it's not economical to go and do that. Like, you buy this one-time cone, thing works forever. You just sit it on
It's
there.
actually more economical to go to a barber because then you're putting your money back into the economy.
Nope.
Which would then be putting it back into the economy again. It would recycle it.
America makes these cones. We're making them here. Okay? So you buy the cone, you're helping America's economy, you put the cone on your head, you're well-groomed. And,
well, then you're putting a shit ton of people out of business.
You also have to. Do you have to supply it with its own stuff? Because you need to, like, if you're gonna have it shave you, you have to like load in like shaving cream cartridges.
Oh yeah, so that'd be a way you keep going. You have to get the cartridge, and then you got to do something with that hair. That hair, it gets sucked into a little container, right? You got to dump that out, right?
Vacuum.
What do you?
You have to change the blades on it every now and then.
You need to change blades and scissors.
See,
what if you want a different?
It's a great
does it have like a style? Like database?
Yeah, you could choose. Yeah, you could choose. It'd be like the game Fallout. You know how it gives the little things with the hair? Yeah. You just choose it. You're like, I want to look that pretty.
The only thing good about this dome thing, I mean, it would only be marketable to people that want short hair, unless you have a length one that would be just kind of... That would show however long
your hair is. It's a good point. How could you get it?
Yeah, it's only marketable to people with short hair, which there's tons of people with short hair. I have short hair.
But if you can make it marketable to people that have long hair, the only good thing about it is if you measure in 1 inch and just say I want 1 inch cut off, it would only cut off 1 inch.
The long one could be the square.
Because there's a...
Yeah, so we have a cone.
Cone for the short.
Cone for the short. And then a square for the long. Because the hair
just in a box.
Yeah, you can put your head in a box. Or when your head comes out of the box.
So you're either a box head or a cone head.
That's it.
That's okay.
That's it.
But whenever you go to hairdressers and you're like, hey, can you just cut off maybe like a ½ inch to 1 inch? They cut off 4 to 5 inches. I don't know what that's about, but they do it every single time I go to them.
You know what my issue at a barbershop is?
Do I need a ruler for you?
My issue
Let me show you what an inch is.
Is I go in and it's just like trim my hair, and then inevitably at some point, this has happened twice now, and both times there's no warning, they just buzz an eyebrow.
Ew.
Not entirely off. They just, because I've got thick eyebrows, they just take a comb, doom, and then trim the eyebrow. And then I can't say anything because if I'm like, don't do that, then they'll leave the other eyebrow completely asymmetrical. And I'm fucked. I hate it. I don't get why they do it.
When they put the comb on your eyebrow, immediately be like, what are you doing?
Well,
stop.
Because it's like...
Or they just do it real quick.
Yeah, the first time it happened, he just went up and then...
Can you trim my hair tonight?
Yeah.
You know what's worse?
I trim his hair all the time.
Well, can you do mine
the problem with the eyebrow thing is the fact that I will go to another barber and say... Can you not trim my eyebrows? And they look at me like I'm crazy.
Yeah, because who does it?
Because someone else does it. Two other people have done it, and most other people are like... I'm not... Why would I touch your eyebrows?
It depends on what cosmetology school you go to.
It's the worst.
I was going to participate in a hair modeling show at CCCC. And
you were?
I was, yeah. And so all the radio people were going to be in it. So I was a radio person, naturally, because I'm so good at this.
What were they going to do to it?
So what they were going to do, the lady that was going to do...
Put a wig on her?
No. She was going to cut my hair like a checkerboard.
What?
Yes, and she was going to spray paint it black and white like a checkerboard. She was going to shave down really close and then the next one not so much and do a checkerboard. She starts doing...
You would have shit yourself.
I was very upset about it. And the only reason why I did it was for charity. If it wouldn't have been for anything else, I was very pissed off about it.
You had a checkerboard? Or did you...
No, she started doing it and she screwed up and she said, oh man, I messed up. I'm going to have to shave the whole thing and you can't do it. And I said, do it. I don't even care. And I got out of it. Yeah, she cut it really short. It was really short. It wasn't completely bald, but I was close.
Damn.
But she got it. I had never winded up having to have the checkered hair or anything. And I was trying to explain to all my bosses, because I was working at the radio station.
Fucking lucky.
I was working at the radio station and Quiznos at the same time, and I told them, by the way, guys, there's a thing coming up that I got to do for charity, and I might have a checkered board head for a little bit.
Oh, you knew about it beforehand?
Yes.
And I would have got at it from that.
I was so...
See, I wasn't even that lucky, because I did hair modeling.
I thought about it for days, and I just, how I did not want to do this. And when she started, she screwed up the whole thing, so then she had to cut it all to match the shortest part, and I was like, thank God. And I did not have to do it.
Because I had the one style. Do you remember that it's like 2 or 3 years ago. Do you know what the octopus is?
Oh, yes.
I remember you telling me about it. I don't know if I saw it.
Short layer, short layer, short layer, short layer, and then the bottom layer is as long as your hair is.
Yeah,
and it looks so bad. Afterwards, I was just like, please just cut the bottom layer off. Do whatever you need to. And it took me forever to grow it out. Also, they dyed my front bang just platinum silver. And the rest of my hair was red.
I'll be honest, I didn't care for that one.
I didn't either.
I remember she came over to my house right after that, and she got out of the car, and I saw her hair, and I was just like, I wanted to cry. I was like, oh man, what have they done? What have they done?
And that was the last hair thing that I did, because I don't trust it.
No.
Well, they're just doing like crazy stuff, just like the whole checkerboard thing. Like,
they're doing it to be like artistic.
Yeah, I mean, it's not real haircut.
Yeah.
This is not something that someone would be like, I want that one.
Yeah.
Can we talk about weird food combinations real quick?
Yeah, let's go ahead. Yeah, because I clearly did not come prepared. I had a really stressful day, so I just did not think about this at all.
That's okay. Yeah. That's okay.
Let's talk about food combinations.
What is the weirdest food combination that you like?
Well, actually, yesterday Ari convinced me to eat a cookie and a pickle at the same time.
Fried pickle.
Fried pickle. That was odd.
Sounds great.
Did you like it?
Not necessarily.
So what's the weirdest food combination you like?
Because I don't know if this is just a me thing, but anytime I have pickle juice left over, I just put potato chips in it, and I eat it like that.
No, I couldn't do that. I actually don't have any. I'm like a super picky eater.
I'm a foodie, so like, I'm very like...
I don't think I eat anything weird. The weirdest things about my eating habits are what I don't like.
Oh, this is where Frank scratched me.
Oh, man.
Yeah, he got me real good. He was just sitting on the I was sitting in that the khaki chair that's downstairs, and he just comes up on the armrest and he's just like staring, and Justin plays with him a little bit and bites him, and he just scratches me for no fucking reason. I was like, bitch, I didn't even touch you.
That cat's.
You know what I did not like, getting back to the food thing? What I did not like? I did not care for this. My aunt used to put mustard and crackers together.
I've heard people really like it.
I don't. I do not like that.
I don't like mustard. That's my issue.
You don't like mustard?
No.
You like ketchup so much, but you don't like mustard. You know the two are like related. So.
I know, but I don't like mustard. I like...
to him, they're cousins. He likes mayonnaise.
I do like mayonnaise.
I like mayonnaise too.
Mayonnaise
is good stuff.
I think it's Lowe's Foods. They got like... I don't know the word. Designer mushrooms? Mustard.
Designer shrooms.
Designer shrooms.
Mustard.
Like
so it's like Dijon, spicy, or like some sort of cheese. Like mustard. That stuff's shrooms, good. Man. I had a habanero mustard at one point. That was really good. But just like regular mustard, yellow mustard, I don't like it.
Oh, I only like it on corn dogs.
You know what I don't like? Spaghetti.
You don't like spaghetti?
No, everybody thinks that's like the weirdest.
That is crazy.
What?
Interesting.
It's like the backbone of food.
I just don't like the way it tastes.
Got it.
So, like, does Olive Garden just piss you off?
Yeah, for a lot of different reasons. We had an interesting experience at Olive Garden.
We did.
They just didn't show up.
Actually, that was the second time
we left, and they chased us down.
Yeah, us too.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That same Olive Garden. They just don't wait.
They chased us down in the parking lot and tried to like convince us to come back in.
That's so.
The waiters just didn't care.
Never showed up. Huh?
Yeah, they set us at the table, and then they never came back.
That happened to my sister and I at Applebee's in Sanford. We sat there for maybe 35 minutes. We were never offered water. We weren't offered menus. And it wasn't even like we came at like 10:30 and they closed at 11. We were there at maybe 4 or 5 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
And there were people at the bar, and the girl, of course, was trying to work for tips, so she was using her tips, So
Crapplebee's.
Yeah, I know. I was like, hey.
Me and Ariana went to Jack's Diner in Wilmington, and the woman completely forgot about us, which is great. But because she forgot about us, I guess she like owns the place, because I went over after about 20 minutes.
I told Nick, I was like, if you don't talk to her, I'm going to go get up and talk to her. And we had been working all day.
Yeah.
And it was maybe 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock in the morning. And I'm not...
Nick, you did a good thing by going and talking.
Well, all I did was like, hi, and I was like really polite, and she just goes like, oh, hi there, what can I get? Oh, God. And you just like realize what happens, and then she comes back and goes, I completely forgot about you guys, dessert's on the house. And so I was like, okay, we're all going to get like a slice of pie, all of us together. And then she was just like, what pie do you want? What pie do you want? What pie do you want? Because clearly she was just in charge.
We didn't get that.
Remember that? We had to pay full price.
Full price. I was like, this is,
What?
I was pissed.
So you went back?
We went back.
I didn't want to. Justin wanted
Justin.
I did not.
Yeah, you did. Audra and I were like, let's just leave. And you're like, no, because you told us, you were like,
oh, yeah,
you were like,
I did.
This is going to be the best meal we ever eat. because they feel so bad.
You know that
they didn't feel bad. And it wasn't the best meal.
Sound. That is sound logic.
It is.
I did. I kind of disagree.
Ari agrees with me on this.
At any other restaurant, it's sound because they microwave their shit.
Well,
at a non-chain restaurant.
I don't know. Yeah. I'm super I don't want to have any issues with anything that involves my food getting.
Well, see, here's the thing.
Right.
If you are a dick, then yes, that can. But if they screw up, your meal is usually one of the best ones you'll ever get.
But we kind of were dicks because when we left, we turned all the shit over. Remember that? We turned all the shit upside down.
I wouldn't have gone back in.
No, that's why I didn't want to.
Never mind. Logic ruined.
That's awesome.
That's right. We made it difficult.
Yes.
That's right.
What all did you turn upside down? Like the sugar package?
Just all the
everything that was on the table.
You should have turned the table upside down. You should have gone extreme and just set up the table completely upside down.
Yeah.
No, everything that was sitting on that table, we turned upside down.
That's ridiculous.
And then we left. Oh, man. Oh, and thanks for checking us out on, if you want to stay in touch with us more, go on and check us out on Facebook. We have a Noble Films page there. And then thanks for listening to us on YouTube. As always, I'm Justin.
Ariana.
I'm Nick.
I'm Ross.
And look for the videos of this fun little game that we're going to play.
Woo!